morning. Bad joke. Thank you, Chris. See you Sunday morning right here on Fox 11 at 8 o'clock. Matt Atchity from Rotten Tomatoes is joining us right now with a look at some of the...
kind of an interesting mix of...
It's a rough weekend this weekend.
Right? Yeah. When you're guessing the thermometer or what?
The tomato meter. Yeah.
Thermometer.
So is it the weather?
Yes. Yeah. And the tomato meter. We have to guess, right?
Yeah. For one of the movies, yes, we do, because we don't have a score yet. This is an ugly weekend. You know, we talk about how January and February are when studios sometimes dump movies. It's weekends like this that give those months that reputation. For instance, Hansel and Gretel opens this week. Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, starring Jeremy Renner.
And
there was an awkward moment when Steve fawned over the female star. It was
Gemma Arterton.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're okay in this movie, but the critics don't like it at all. It's only 8% on the tomato meter. Now, 8?
92%?
92% didn't like it. Now, we don't have a lot of reviews, only about 10 or 15
because
reviews so far.
Because this wasn't reviewed, right?
It wasn't really screened until late last night, so it was really at the last minute. You know, the problem with this movie is tonally, it's all over the place. It kind of wants to be this lighter action movie, but it doesn't have the style of, say, Underworld. It's overly violent. It goes for a hard R here, so it's hard to figure out who really is the audience here. It's not, ultimately, it does the cardinal sin. It's boring. You don't really, or at least I was kind of bored. I didn't really care for this movie, and I understand why the critics don't like it. So, yeah, that one's not so good. Now, the next one, Parker, which is Jason Statham as the Donald Westlake character that we've seen played in Point Blank by Lee Marvin.
Who else?
And Mel Gibson.
Never called Parker, though.
Never called Parker. Called Walker in Point Blank.
Okay.
And I can't remember what he was called. I'm not sure he even got
Point Blank is a great movie.
Yeah, Point Blank is a great movie.
And this has Jennifer Lopez,
Jennifer Lopez, who actually, her character takes away from this movie, most of the critics said. What happens is you get what would be an otherwise serviceable action movie with Jason Statham, who could kind of do this in his sleep. He plays Parker, who seems to always get double-crossed by the guys he's working with.
Well, here's Parker is a guy who's a full-time criminal.
Right.
He's
a full-time
thief. In the very
thief.
first Parker, he gets double-crossed. I think this must be the first one.
No, actually, this is a later book that he gets double-crossed again.
Westlake wrote, I don't know how many of these, 25?
Yeah, a bunch of them. A bunch of them. This is one of the later books. He gets double-crossed. He goes out for revenge. He's got his own set of his rules. He, you know, doesn't steal from people who can't afford it, won't hurt anyone innocent. Unfortunately, this movie gets taken away by the addition of the Jennifer Lopez character, who adds kind of an unnecessarily love story into an otherwise serviceable action movie.
All right, we're going to have to wrap it there, I think.
But we have to take one quick look at the...
Oh, yes. Our Golden Tomatoes are out this week.
For the best,
they're on the site. The best reviewed movies of the year. We're actually giving one of those away to Ben Affleck for Argo for the best reviewed wide release of 2012.
Okay. Thank you.
What a year it's been.
Oh, no, Ben's already talked to you, right?
Yes, we talked to him on our radio show last night. That's available on demand on
You can see the entire list of Golden Tomatoes winners on RottenTomatoes.com, and Matt hosts Rotten Tomatoes Radio on Sirius Tuesdays at 4 and Thursdays at 3. Matt Atchity from Rotten Tomatoes coming up in a couple of minutes.